picking the team up over the course of the week. How important is positivity now?
Very. Be easy to jump up and down on the players and beat them with a stick, but I don't think they particularly need that in this moment in time. They need to understand that Tuesday wasn't acceptable, which I think they know themselves. But we have to look forward now. And from somewhere we have to try and pull back some confidence and a little bit of positivity to try and get us on a little bit of a run. Somewhere along the line we've got to come out of this and snap out of it, and it's my job to try and lift them up.
How do you do that?
Just by reassurance and work in training, because if you're organised and you know what you're doing as a team, that can give you confidence, because you know if things go wrong, how to put it right. So we're going to work hard today and tomorrow to make sure we're ready for Saturday.
You talked about strong conversation with the players. Is that easy to do without jumping on them?
I think it's just talking about roles and responsibilities, understanding what their role is in the team, and sometimes when it can't be pretty and when it's not pretty, that we have something to fall back on, that we do roll our sleeves up and we can grind something out. And too many times when it's not being perfect and the football's not being spot on, we've not done the other side of the game well enough, and that there is two sides to the game, and that's without the ball as well. So without the ball we've not been great, and that's something that the players have to grasp, that it's not all about the perfect and pretty side of the football. It's when things are going against you, how you dig in and grind something out.
As we come into the last quarter of the season, you've said that this is a less experienced team than last season. Is this where your experience becomes more important, do you think?
Maybe. It's when all's said and done, it's somewhere along the line the players have to take the responsibility and say, right, I'm going to be the one today that's going to make the difference. I'm going to be the one that is going to get on the end of another cross. I'm going to get across the near post and I'm going to score a goal, or I'm going to make sure my man doesn't score in our box when the cross comes in. You have to, now the players have got to step up and take responsibility and make sure it's not them that makes a mistake, and make sure it's them that makes a difference in the opposition's penalty area.
I know you've spoken about possibly the mental side of things being part of the problem behind the performance on Tuesday. As a manager, what would you rather have to deal with, physical tiredness or mental tiredness?
I think the physical one's more easy because you can rest and recuperate, things like that. The mental one is more difficult because it's, like I've said before, a group of younger players that are still coming to terms with their fledgling parts of their careers, and that's a difficult one, but we have to do it, and that comes back to taking responsibility. Somewhere along the line they have to grasp it, and we are certainly going to try and help them do that.
You talk about responsibility. I was speaking to Nathan about, actually, as a media and as fans, you maybe take for granted that the Swindon's position in the league, and he said about being victims of your own success. Is that a fair point to make, that maybe Swindon are victims of their own success at the moment?
I think so, yeah. I mean, when you talk to other managers and coaches, they always say you're the best football team in the league, and we've produced some real good football, and with that comes added pressure. You create this identity that people think you're just going to go and get promoted because you're the best football team. But that goes back to what I'm saying. When the football's not happening, you have to have something to fall back on, and that is sometimes just pure desire to make sure it's not going to be you that makes a mistake for a goal, or you let your man run into the box, or you don't defend a cross, or you don't stop a cross. That's what that is.
I've had